organization. We extend a hearty welcome to you, sir, for gracing this occasion and being with us to address us with your pearls of wisdom. All hands for you when we actually welcome you to this August function. And I have with us the esteemed President of Kerala Management Association, Jivu Paul, who is jointly helping us in hosting this function. On behalf of Rotary and Rotaract, let me welcome KMA President Jivu Paul to this special speaker session led by Mr. SHIV KHERA. Again, we have another iconic person from Rotary and KMA, that is past President of KMA and the Program Committee Chair for Kerala Management Association. He happens to be our nominee, that is, he is going to follow my track very soon. In 22-23, he is going to be the Governor of Rotary District 3201, Raj Mohan Nair. He will be formally introducing our Chief Guest of the day, Mr. SHIV KHERA. Raj Mohan Nair, hearty welcome on behalf of Rotary and Rotaract and KMA to this function. We have the Rotaract representative, the DRR, District Rotaract representative, the young icon Ajay, and his entire team who have worked tirelessly to make this event happen with all the technical frenzy which it needed. Ajay and team, hearty welcome to each one of you. Now, without much ado, because the time is precious and we need to give maximum to Mr. SHIV KHERA, so let me invite Mr. Jivu Paul, President of Kerala Management Association, to address us and share a few words. Over to Jivu.
Respected Speaker of the Day, celebrity author, educator, business consultant, and the sought-after speaker, SHIV KHERA, our own Senior Vice President, and the respected Rotary Governor of District 3201, Mr. Madhav Chandran, our past presidents, managing committee members, our honorary secretary, KMA members, Rotary leaders, Rotarians, Rotaractors, yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm evening to all of you. As COVID-19 reached around the globe, we found ourselves in a world transformed. We have been forced to connect in ways we could never have imagined. Testing our ability to adapt, we found new ways to make the lives of others better, new ways to move forward together. Relationships are important, and we need to strengthen the ones we have and to build new ones. As a part of our ways to countering the trauma and tensions related to the aftermath of COVID-19, KMA has been continuously engaged in organizing online lecture sessions by renowned leaders, touching upon the topics of survival strategies, economic uncertainty, pre- and post-COVID socio-cultural adjustments needed, industrial and labor-related matters, personal trauma handling, healthcare, impact analysis of stimulus package, etc. We had business doyens, corporate leaders, IAS officers, diplomats, as well as a state minister addressed our earlier 11 online meetings in the last 9 weeks. In this regard, we are continuously bringing illustrious speakers to share their thoughts to instill confidence in the minds of our businessmen and professionals on how to face these troubled times and to remain positive in the face of adversities. Today, we are attending the 12th seminar jointly hosted by Kerala Management Association and Rotary International District 3201. And I am extremely happy to have noted author and management guru SHIV KHERA to talk to us today about setbacks, comebacks. So welcome once again to KMA and Rotary. We are waiting to listen to your thoughts. Thank you, dear Ajay, Rotaractor. Thank you, dear Rotary Governor, Rotarian Madhav, for organizing such a wonderful meeting. Thank you, dear KMA members, for the remarkable response towards KMA's Euro Talk sessions. Trust you and your dear ones are healthy and safe. Wishing you all safety and good health in the coming days. Work safe, take care. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jivu Paul. While we were welcoming all of the delegates are present here, as well as the dignitaries on the dais, I would say. I was just going through the participants list. We have people from all across India. There are Rotary leaders, including governors from 3000, 3030, there is 3190, there are 3154. Many of the districts I could see in the participants list. I welcome each one of you. Unable to actually recognize each one's name because the list is quite long here, as well as on YouTube. There is a flurry of visitors there. So I extend a hearty welcome to each one of you from the Rotary world, as well as from KMA, from all across Kerala. There are people I can see from Calicut Management Association. I could see somebody there. I can see from Kollam Management Association. So all of you being here, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and coming here to listen to the maestro, I would say. So it's a proud moment for me when Rajmohan Nair, our district governor nominee, as well as the KMA past president, program committee chair, are going to introduce this great celebrity, speaker, author, trainer, mentor. I don't know what all epithets can be given to him, but I'm so proud personally that he has come to us once again. I've been instrumental in getting him to Kerala quite a few times, and I'm feeling so proud that he considers me as a great friend of his and gives me those calls in between and the messages in between. And now it is up to Rajmohan Nair to formally introduce our speaker, our chief guest for the day, Mr. SHIV KHERA. Over to Rajmohan Nair.
Thank you, Madhav. KMA President Jibu Paul, District Governor Madhav Chandran, DRR Rotaract Rajay, and the district governors from different parts of the country, Kerala Management Association presidents from different parts of the country, fellow members, and my dear Rotarians, friends, invited guests, a very good evening to you all. As always, we take our Rotary theme connects the world pretty seriously, and we are here today connecting Rotary leaders, Rotary youth, and managerial experts to listen and learn about opening opportunities during this COVID time. Another fact is that this also happens to be the Rotary's theme for next year, Rotary opens opportunities. Using even the worst time as an opportunity to excel is always a measure of success, and we are here today to discuss about the same. And for that, today we have the well-renowned speaker, Mr. SHIV KHERA, to address us in this new norm meeting style powered by Zoom and video calling, learning at your home conveniences. KMA has been conducting this group video calling speaker series, fastly adapting to the change and having already had 12 speakers in the last many weeks. This partnership with Rotary is taking the new norm to the next level. Even though our speaker needs no formal introduction, let me take this opportunity to give a quick overview of this sought after personality of the industry. Mr. SHIV KHERA is an author, educator, business consultant, a motivational speaker who inspires and encourages individuals to realize their true and full potential. He has taken his dynamic personal messages to opposite sides of the globe, from US to Singapore. His 40 years of research and understanding has put millions on the path of growth and fulfillment. Or 8 million copies of his books have been sold globally, including his international bestseller, You Can Win, in 21 languages. His enormous client list includes Lufthansa, HP, DHL, HSBC, Canon, Nestle, Philips, Mercedes, Johnson & Johnson's, MetLife, and many more. Tens of thousands have benefited from his dynamic workshop internationally in over 20 countries, and millions have heard him as a keynote speaker. He has appeared on numerous radio and television shows and is the brand ambassador of Roundtable Foundation. He has been honored by the Rotary International and the Lions International. Friends, many of us also had the opportunity to hear him at Cochin around 4 years back in the inaugural of KMA Awards Night during my chairmanship, and I was then fortunate to have met him in person and learned from his charismatic speaker. Without further ado, let me welcome our gifted speaker to inspire our leaders and youth from Kerala Management Association, Rotary International and Rotaract International. Once again, I welcome you, sir, on behalf of AMA and Rotary. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, past president of KMA and program committee chair of KMA and district governor nominee Rajmohan Nair for that lucid introduction of our celebrity speaker. It is like a flower, anytime, how many number of times you smell it, the fragrance keeps on increasing. We have heard this guru so many times, but every time it's a feast all over again. Here we are, all ears and eyes open for you, sir. Over to you, SHIV KHERA, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Madhav Chandran, I still remember you and your wife came to pick me up from the airport, and I feel so honored that you called me back again. So, sir, I'm grateful to you. Kindly convey my regards to your wife also. Thank you, sir. You are the captain right now. You are the quarterback who's put the whole thing together. So without that, it would not work anyway. Thank you, sir, again. And thank you, Mr. Nair, and thank you, Mr. Jibu Paul. Those words, in fact, I'm not sure, Mr. Vivek Tanka, who's a member of parliament and a very senior Rotarian, he might be also joining in somewhere, but in case he does, that would be great. But let me get started with this. First of all, I must make a disclaimer as to the answers. And certainly I don't have all the answers anyway. That's one. And number two, why did we take this topic, major setbacks, where I went into minus in my life and what helped me to come back? That's what really the learning I'm going to share today. And my academics are, I'm not that educated. I'm a BCom 3rd division, failed in my 10th. That's my academics. I come from a business family. We had close to 1,000 people working. We had coal mines in India, and the government took over, they nationalized. Right from being a mine owner, we came on the street. Street means street. I was married 4 weeks, then a year later, my daughter was born. And I did not have $10 to buy milk that night. I tried my hand on 3 businesses with no money, and I failed in all 3. Finally, I decided to leave India, went to US, initially went to Canada, Toronto, and started life with a bucket in my hand, washed cars door to door for about 1.5 years to 2 years. And then totally got into selling vacuum cleaners in the evening, and by accident, got into selling life insurance. And I was literally on the verge of being fired. But there were some turning points which changed direction in my life. I moved on to the US, got into 3 businesses. I bought out a company out of California in 1984, started the New Jersey operation with no clients, and sold my company with close to 500 clients. Now, this is where my learning that came in at 3 times when I had a major setback. Now, with that in mind, folks, all of us are facing major challenges right now, all of us. And we're all looking for finding ways how to overcome them. Now, what are the challenges? The coronavirus is moving from one city to the next, to the next, to the next. It has covered the whole world. Second is the hospitals are overcrowded. Supplies are in shortage. Medical equipments are in shortage. Factories are closing. Orders are getting canceled. Unemployment is going up. Death rate going up. Now, with this scenario, this has literally shaken up the whole world. Now, with that in mind, people are feeling very unsure. They're very unsure. There's a lot of uncertainty and unpredictability. Nobody knows where is the finish line, where is the cutoff point. Nobody knows that. Therefore, everything is unpredictable. With the result, Mr. Nair, stay with me, sir. Mr. Rajmohan Nair, stay with me, sir. Okay, now everything is unpredictable. With the result, it is causing a lot of stress, anxiety, frustration, depression, and anger too, all put together. Now, keep in mind, stress cannot be avoided nor denied, because if we do, it comes back stronger and longer. And anybody who says, I have no stress, belongs to the lunatic asylum. We all have stress. It is natural, it is normal. And by the way, stress, all stress is not bad. In fact, it is stress that makes us perform. You notice that the athlete who's ready to compete at the Olympics, is he under stress? Answer is big time. But it is that stress that makes him perform. You notice one thing at the race course, I'm sure we must have seen movies. Have you seen the thoroughbreds? Thoroughbreds, before they get into the cabin, and they are jumping like this. They are jumping. You know why? They are under very heavy stress. They don't walk straight. They are jumping like this. They are under heavy stress. And then what happens? They get them into the cabin. And the moment the bell rings and they open the window, what does the thoroughbred do? Shoot, and he immediately shoots off. Now that's a thoroughbred. But remember, you take a jackass, you take a donkey to the race course. This donkey is walking so coolly, has no stress. And he just moves coolly, doesn't do any, he's not edgy at all. But that is a donkey. He will remain a donkey forever. Now, just one sentence is very important. Remember, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. I repeat, stress is the price we pay to be a thoroughbred in life. Now, folks, all of us can handle stress, but what we cannot handle is chronic stress. When stress becomes chronic, we start breaking down. We start breaking down. Now, one statement I might repeat 2 or 3, 4 times before I finish the program, and that is, folks, hear this. Let us not overrate the crisis and threat, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. I repeat, let us not overrate the crisis and threat, and let us not underrate our strength to fight and win. And that is crucial. Now, this crisis is impacting us 3 different ways. One is, it is impacting our life. 2, our livelihood. And 3, our lifestyle. Now, how is it impacting our life? First of all, none of us know who will be in quarantine next. Nobody knows. I repeat, nobody knows who will be in quarantine next. And 2, what we do, where we go, and who we meet could be a matter of life and death. I repeat again, what we do, who we meet, or where we go could be a matter of life and death. This is the way it is impacting our life. Now, number 2, our livelihood. Now, all over the world, everybody's income, pretty much, I would say without exception, incomes have stopped. Incomes have stopped. Now, individual income, business income, even government income have stopped, because the government is also going bankrupt because they're not collecting any taxes anymore. So everybody is in deep trouble. Now, who are in deeper trouble? That is a big question. So we divide people into 3 categories. 3 categories. 1 is the super rich, 2, the mediocre, and 3, the poor. The worst hit are the poor. They are the ones who are daily wage earners or hourly earners. They earn today in the morning, eat in the evening, earn in the morning, eat in the evening. They are the worst hit. But now, what about the super rich? Super rich, they don't have a liquidity problem. Look at this. Apple today has $200 billion in reserve. $200 billion. But obviously, they don't have a livelihood problem. People like the Tatas, the Birlas, the Adanis, the Ambanis, I would be totally surprised if they have a liquidity problem. I would be totally surprised. Therefore, these people don't have problems. Now, that is a super rich guy. Now, comes to the mediocre people, people like possibly me and possibly many others who are listening here. People last, will outlast the crisis outlast my money? That is a big question. How long will it last? And will my savings last more than the crisis? Now, this is where people are starting to think, distinguish between active income and passive income. See, I go to work, I get money. I go to work, I get money. I go to work, I get money. I don't go to work, I don't get money. See, I go to work, I get money. This is called active income. I don't go to work, I don't get any money. Now people are thinking, I must create a passive income, because when I don't go to work, I still must have money. Active and passive income. This is the difference here. And when we were doing financial planning for our QRS, we used to tell them, you must keep 1 year of your income, 1 year of your income in reserve, where you can access money less than 20. This is called emergency fund or accident fund. You know why? Because emergencies and accidents do not give you advance warnings. That is why they call accidents. They just come and you don't know when they come. So you must be able to access 1 year of your income within 24 hours. Well, anyway, those who don't have it, it's a little too late. But going forward, they need to understand what we need to do as emergency funds. Now, that is one side. But all over the world, people have had to take very hard decisions. They can't afford to pay salaries. Now, either they can lay off and retrench their people, or they can send them for unpaid vacation, or they can ask them to take pay cuts voluntarily or mandatorily. That's the only way to sustain, because all over the world, hear this, all over the world, every government in the world, they want to make sure that business stay in business. I repeat, business should stay in business. You know why? If the business goes bankrupt, the job loss will become permanent. I repeat, if the business goes bankrupt, the job loss will become permanent. And you don't want that, the livelihood loss on an ongoing basis. Now, the other day I had a banker come over to me and I asked him, I said, tell me, what percentage of staff are you operating right now? Because that is part of essential services. He says, sir, we are operating with 30% of staff. So I said, are you working at 30% efficiency level? He said, no, we are working at 60, 70% efficiency level, and we are shooting for 80 and 90% efficiency level. I said, how can you do that? He said, we are putting all people who are manual banking onto digital banking. Senior citizens, people who didn't understand technology, we are putting them on technology and digital platform. And he says, from 50, 60%, we are getting 70, 80% efficiency or 90%. So I said, if you are working at 90% efficiency with 30% staff, now does that mean the balance 60% people or 50% people, they were redundant before, or they will become redundant when the crisis is over? He said, we haven't gotten that far. So that is something we need to think about. Now, another thing, he said, who are we going to retain will depend on who they are. He said, there are 4 kinds of people. Every organization, many people are entrepreneurs here, business people here. There are 4 kinds of employees every organization has. One is the superstar. That is a person who is proactive. They give input and they contribute to your growth of your company, and they take pride in their performance. Whatever they do a great job, and they have integrity. You can trust them. They are asset to your company. And when they say it is done, it is done. When you go check it out, you will find it is done. They tell the truth. They don't tell lies. That is your superstar. The second category of people are the doers. Doers are You tell them, they do it. 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 You don't tell them, they don't do it. That is your doer. And you got to check if it is done or not. And once in a while, the guy to slip away, he can tell lies because that person is not the superstar. He's the doer. And we all have people like that in our offices too. And the third kind of category of person is the talker. He talks more, does less. You see, he depends on how much he can get away by talking. He's not really motivated. He is not motivated. And what does he do? He only does enough to get by with. He only does enough so you have no reason to fire them. They are talkers. And they will do as little as they can get by with. And to hide behind all these things, they are comfortable in telling lies too, because they're not superstars. And the fourth category of person who working is the troublemakers. See, 4 people: superstars, doers, talkers, troublemakers. Every organization has that. And he says we have to very seriously think of getting rid of the talkers and the troublemakers. Get rid of them. I said, even if the crisis did not come, you should still have gotten rid of them anyway. Now, that is one part. But then I asked him, I said, tell me, many of your people are working from home. 70% of people working from home. What about the efficiency level? Are they able to give you the same output as before? His answer was, Mr. Khera, the 80-20 rule applies. 80-20 rule means 20% people are responsible. They can work without supervision. 20%. But 80% people working from home, they are not giving us the same output. With the result, we need to supervise them a lot more. And even if you give them measurable accounts, you still have to supervise them and push them. I heard Mr. Narayan Murthy the other day, and Narayan Murthy said that, look, people working out of home, you have to be able to quantify their productivity. Otherwise, how do you pay them? Either you tie their compensation with output. If you can't measure it, then it is difficult to pay them. Hence, you must quantify what you do at work, at home, both everywhere. Now, that is as far as the livelihood, the livelihood is concerned. Now, the third part is the lifestyle. Look at this. Till the lockdown came in, all of us were in the fast lane. Everybody was running and everybody was in the fast lane. We were going, but we didn't know where the hell we were going. We did not know where we were going. And look at this. We were all running at high speed. Now, we had no time. We had no time. Where we were going, we didn't know we were going, but we were going. But we had no time. Look at this. The amount of time-saving devices we have today, we have never had that many in history, and yet we don't have what? Time. We don't have time. You know why? Because somewhere we messed up our priorities. I'm not here to preach here. I'm guilty myself. And when we mess up our priorities, we forget to distinguish between what's urgent in life and what's important in life. Now, urgent may or may not be important, and important may or may not be urgent. But the interesting thing is that whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. Look at this. Health is important, but it's not urgent. Exercising every day is important, but it is not urgent. See, if I have a crucial meeting tonight, and if I'm not able to exercise, it's not the end of the world. But if I ignore my health long enough, guess what happens? I will end up in the hospital. Now, in life, relationships are important, but they're not urgent. But if you ignore relationship long enough, guess what happens? You start talking through your lawyers. See, folks, whenever we ignore what is important, it always converts into urgent. So we need to set up our priorities back. You ask people, why do you go to work? And they say, oh, I go to work for my family. Why do you work hard? I work hard for my family. Who are the most important people in your life? My family. Who are the most neglected? Also my family. Look at this. The most important people many times become the most neglected also, and that is sad. And I've been guilty myself of it too. But this is a time where people are saying, wait a minute, let's wait, let's stop. Let us relook at our priorities, where we are. Are we doing the right thing? Yes, we were running in the fast lane. Now check, were you going in the right direction? You were on the fast lane, but were you in the right direction? If you're running in the wrong direction, you will go away from your goals in life. And that is where people are thinking that direction is much more important than speed. I repeat, direction in life is much more important than speed. That is where we need to set up our priorities. Okay, now that is that. And another thing that is done is the lifestyle part is people are evaluating their discretionary and non-discretionary spending. You see, non-discretionary spending, there's nothing we can do. That is food and medicine. We have to do that. But discretionary spending is people are thinking that, buddy, it is a lot better to have money in the bank than 35 shirts in the closet. Are you with me? Jibu, are you with me, sir? Okay. See, money in the bank is more precious than having 35 shirts in the closet. Money in the bank is better to have than a car worth $100,000. Money in the bank is more precious. So people are re-evaluating their lifestyle. Okay. Now, with that in mind, now through history, we have had only two sources of references where similar crisis has come in the past 100 years. One was in 1918 when the Spanish flu came in. Spanish flu came in 1918. It came in two phases. When the first phase came 1918, it killed many people. Many people died. But then it faded away. When it faded away, people said, man, thank God, it's over. It's all over, it's gone. And they dropped the guard, they took it easy and they relaxed. But they didn't understand that 6 months later, it came back with a second phase. Second phase hit them. Are you aware that during the Spanish flu, 50 to 70 million people died? 18 million people in India died. 18 million people. Okay, those are the numbers. But when it came back, it killed more people than it killed the first phase. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Go South Korea, Singapore. It has come in second phase. See, many of us think the lockdown is over, the danger is over. No, it's not. Danger is not over. Danger will not get over till there is a vaccine. We don't know. We might have to live with this. Who knows, for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. We don't know that. Just like today, we are living with HIV/AIDS. We are living with it. But they've found treatment with it. But till then, we didn't know what the hell was coming. Therefore, we cannot afford to drop our guards here. Okay, that is the Spanish flu. But the second example of such a crisis that came in was the Great Depression in 1929. Banks failed, stock market crashed, there was total panic in the Wall Street, and $100 became 50 cents. Sorry, became $50, $15. $100 became $15. Dollar lost its value by 85%. And 15 million people were unemployed. 15 million people. Now, 15 million people in 1929 is equivalent to 60 million people today, because population then was 120 million in US. Today it's 330 million. Now, interestingly, this was the level of unemployment. And I just checked the figures last week in the US. There are 45 million people on unemployment today. 45 million. Only US, only US. And more is coming. They're talking it will be much more. Okay, now, this is so much for the crisis. Now, let us look at the silver lining, where we take the silver lining and go up from here. Look at this. Studies have shown whenever unemployment has gone up, self-employment has always gone up. I repeat, it is so important. Whenever unemployment has gone up, self-employment has always gone up. Now, when that happened in the US, people had no risk-taking ability, they had no money. But there were some people who were positive people. They were entrepreneurial spirit. They were solution focused. They were solution focused people. Have you noticed there are some people in life, they're problem focused. You know what that means? It means you give them a solution, they give you a problem. You give them a solution, they give you a problem. They have a problem for every solution. Now, Madhav, they have a problem for every solution. They were a group of entrepreneurs who started an enterprise then with nothing in their pocket, and today they have become household words in the US. Household words. I'm going to share with you 3 examples. They did not have money, no risk-taking ability. They had no degrees, college degrees. They were not innovative. They were not tech savvy. But what they had was, they had the grit and they were positive people. Now, here's what they did. One man was a man by the name of George Jenkins. George Jenkins, he opened up a small little outlet in his neighborhood in an abandoned place. He started selling non-perishable durable goods. Now, why non-perishable durable goods? If they perish and the person lose money, he could not afford to lose money. So he started non-perishable. And why durable? He said, if I'm not able to sell, at least I and my family can use it at home. So non-perishable durable goods. He started then. Folks, 100 years later, today, this man started with nothing, has 1,000 stores in the US, 1,000 stores. His turnover is $30 billion. His net worth is excess of $6 billion. And the store's name is Publix Supermarket. Go Google it, check it out. One. Second man was a man by the name of Gallo. There were 2 brothers, Gallo brothers in California. They were also struggling hard. But they found a little grapes and they started making wine out of it. But then after they made wine, nobody would buy it. Nobody had the money. They started selling wine 50% below market, 50% below market. That is how they started 100 years ago. And today, the Gallo winery is one of the largest wineries in the United States. They account for 25% of the winery business in the US, and they are worth close to $8 to $10 billion, the Gallo brothers. And the third example was a man by the name of Simplot. He had a small patch of land in Idaho, and he started growing potatoes. Now, what he couldn't sell, he started eating. His family ate. But what they could not eat started rotting. Now, he could not afford the loss of rotten potatoes. So he created a system to freeze them. And folks, today, this man is called the Potato King of US. He accounts for 33% of the French fries business in the United States. His biggest customer is McDonald's, and he's worth $10 to $12 billion. Now, all these examples I'm sharing with you, I'm not saying that we all start like this and we all will become billionaires. That is not the message. The message is that all of these people, they were struggling, they had no money, and they had no risk-taking ability, but what they had was they were positive people. They were solution-focused people. And what it proves is they did not have any degrees either. What it proves is that education is more important than a degree. I repeat, education is more important than a degree. There are many people with degrees, but they're not educated at all. They lack common sense. Okay, now, folks, let us see how this crisis impacts us three other ways. One, it impacts us physically. Two, economically. And three, psychologically. Physically is medically. Now, I'm not a qualified doctor. I'm not qualified to talk about it. WHO and many doctors are giving a lot of good information, so I'm going to skip it. But let me address one thing, and that is the hygiene factor. And the hygiene factor says, I remember from childhood, our parents said, wash your hands. When you go in, wash your hands when you come out, wash your hands when you touch anything, wash your hands when you touch currency, wash your hands when you shake hands, wash your hands before you eat food. Everything, every time you got to wash your hands. But you know something? Probably, somewhere, we have forgotten to give the same hygienic values to our kids and grandkids, or even domestic help, or even help in our office. We forgot to do it. Then, this is one side of the picture. But the other side is that there are some people who are so insensitive that they don't care about society. Now, if you notice, there are some people who wash hands and they apply soap like this and they leave the tap running. While they're doing this, their tap is running. And do you realize that by doing that, you are losing 5 liters? I'm sorry, you are losing 5 liters of water while you are rubbing your hand with the soap. You should turn your tap off, but they don't do it. 5 liters of water. And if you wash your hands 20 times a day, you are losing, one person is losing 100 liters of water. And if you have 5 people in the family, you are losing 500 liters of water. Remember one thing, the next world war will be based on shortage of water. Next world war will be because of shortage of water. Now, there's another side of the picture, and that is there are many people who are saying, what washing hands? We don't even have drinking water. Forget washing hands. That's another side of the picture, which is sad. Okay, now, let's come to the silver lining here now. Again, I heard a medical doctor say that, look, occupancy in the hospitals has gone down by 50 to 70%. I repeat, occupancy in the hospital has gone down by 50 to 70%. I'm not talking of the COVID-19. Yes, those are packed. But occupancy because of other problems has gone down. How come? Because, you see, factories have closed down, no pollution. Cars are not running, no pollution. Therefore, respiratory problems have gone away. 2, since cars are not running on the street, there are no road accidents, no road accident victim coming to us. 3rd, the hygiene factor and sanitary condition have changed. Therefore, infections have gone down. How do you like that? And the guy says, our hospitals are lying empty. 50 to 70% occupancy gone down. This is great. Now, the next question is, how can we sustain this without damaging our economy? That is the big challenge. Okay, that's one. Number 2 is how it is impacting us economy. At one time, the biggest buzzword was globalization. Now people saying, forget globalize, localize. Because you cannot let somebody 25,000 miles away blackmail you. Are you aware that in the US was dependent on China for 95% of their pharma products? I repeat, US has been depending on China for 95% of the pharma products. And all of a sudden, US woke up. We cannot let anybody blackmail us anymore. Therefore, they said, we need to become self-sufficient. We need to become independent. We cannot be dependent on somebody else to blackmail us. Cannot do that. 1. And 2 is Two is we must bring production closer to consumption. Why did we take production away earlier, 25,000 miles away? Because labor costs were very high. But you know, with robotics today, artificial intelligence, automation, labor has become so small component. I have a friend of mine who just set up a factory. And new factory he set up is 5 times higher capacity than he had the previous one. And 1/10 the labor force, 1/10 the labor force and 500% higher capacity. Look at this. It is changing the picture all over. And most important thing that people are starting to think is that bottom line is more important than top line. Earlier, everybody was looking at top line, top line, top line, top line. You see, all the management institutes were talking top line, top line, top line. To hell with top line. The guy says bottom line is more important than top line. I don't care what your top line is. What's your bottom line? Talk about it. Okay, so things are changed. Now, the third factor is psychologically. It has impacted us psychologically. That is emotionally. Look at this. People who are emotionally strong, they are coming out stronger out of this crisis. And people who are emotionally weak, they are creating bigger problems for themselves. Are you aware that WHO came up with the figures and they said domestic violence has gone up by 50%. Domestic violence has gone up by 50%. Why is that? People who are emotionally unstable, they're fighting at home now. They're irritating each other. But people who had strong ties, they're becoming stronger. So psychologically, it has made a big impact, which I will address as I go along. Now, these are some of the things. Now, how do we cope with the crisis? How do we cope with the crisis? Folks, I'm going to share with you 9 steps on how to cope with the crisis. If you want to take them down, please do so. But 9 steps how to cope with the crisis. Step 1. Step 1 is the serenity prayer. Now, some of you might have heard of it before, but it doesn't matter. When I went to the US, I attended a program 45 years ago by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the man who wrote the book, Power of Positive Thinking. We were 1,000 people in the room, and Dr. Peale came, and he looked at everybody and said, you people appear so calm, cool, comfortable, relaxed. It seems nobody has a problem here. Then he asked, does anybody have a problem here? Again, everybody raised their hand. Yep, we all have problems. Who doesn't have problem? Then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of the problem? Again, everybody raised their hand. We want to get rid of our problem. Then Dr. Peale said, while coming here to address you people, I came across a place 2 blocks away from here. And I saw there were some people who were totally stressed out, totally relaxed. They had no problem at all. How many people would like to know where it is? And everybody raised their hand. We want to know. And then Dr. Peale said, 2 blocks away from here, there is a cemetery. There are people lying there, all stretched out, totally relaxed. They have no problem. Then he asked, how many people would like to get rid of the problem? Nobody raised their hand. Everybody put their hand in their pocket. That day, Dr. Peale said something very profound. He said, remember, problem is a sign of life. So long as we are alive, we shall have problems. The day we don't have problems, we'd be dead. And when you are running short of problems, that is the time to get on your knees and pray to God. Have you stopped trusting me anymore? Send me some problems. Folks, that day, Dr. Peale gave a prayer which is called the Serenity Prayer. To me, it is a crux of life, And since the last 45 years, I never leave home without my prayer. And I've faced many difficult situations in life, this prayer has helped me drastically. If you want to note this down, I'll go slow on this. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. I repeat, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference, what I can and what I cannot. Now, if you analyze this and dissect it, it is the crux of life. God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. Now, question is, can we change everything in this world? Answer is no. Is everything within our control in life? Answer is no. There are some things beyond which we don't have any control on, such as, I didn't decide where I was going to be born. You didn't decide either. I didn't choose my parents, neither did you. If this is the color of my skin and this is my height, there's nothing I can do about it. Granted, sometimes people are born deformed. What wrong did they do? Who knows? And sometimes bad things do happen to good people for no fault of their own. What wrong did they do? Who knows? Nobody knows. How did this virus come? I don't know. Who created the virus? I don't know. But it's here. Point is, if I cannot change, let me accept it graciously, not grudgingly. Have you noticed one thing? Many times in life, we keep fighting the things we just cannot change. And we bring stress into our lives, and we become paralyzed, and productivity in life goes down. Now, but if I can change, then give me the guts to do it, courage to do it, and wisdom to know what I can and what I cannot. See, folks, when I wrote my new book, You Can Achieve More, I took this thought 2 steps forward, and I wrote in that life is full of choices and life is full of compromises. Now, seems like a contradiction, but not really. How is life full of choices? If I ill-treat you, I've chosen to be ill-treated, haven't I? If I treat you with discourtesy, I've chosen to be treated with discourtesy, haven't I? If I light up a cigarette, I've chosen to invite cancer, haven't I? If I drink and drive, I've chosen to invite an accident, haven't I? If I exercise every day, I've chosen to invite good health, haven't I? If I eat too much, I've chosen to be obese, haven't I? See, folks, life is full of choices. Now, how is life full of compromises? In life, we cannot choose the cards that are dealt to us. What we can choose is how we play the game. And sometimes nature gives us a lemon. The choice is ours. Do we cry or do we make lemonade? That's a choice. Now, what is success? Series of positive choices in life is called success, and series of negative choices in life is called failure. Now, keep one thing in mind. We are free to the point of choice, but after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice. I repeat, we are all free to the point of choice, but after we make our choices, the choice controls the chooser. We have no more choice after that. We're done. Now, what is success? Series of positive choices in life is called success, and series of negative choices in life is called failure. That's it. Now, many times, especially the press people have asked me, Mr. Khera, tell me, people who are successful, don't they make mistakes in life? And people who are failures in life, don't they do positive things in life? And my answer to them is, sir, people who are successful, they do make mistakes in life. But remember one thing, making a mistake once in a while does not make anybody a failure. It is repeating the same mistake again and again is what makes a person a failure. And doing something positive once in a while does not make a person successful. You got to repeat the same positive behavior again and again is what brings success. Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay. We need to understand what is success. Okay. Now, step two. To overcome this crisis, folks, limit your exposure to news only to twice a day, 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. That's it. No more. You know why? Because the news is so negative, it is so depressing. Have you noticed there are some people in the morning they wake up and the first thing they do is they turn the TV on to look what? To check the score. You know what is score? As if there's a cricket match between England and Australia. They check what? They check. So many infected, so many died. So many infected, so many died. So many infected, so many died. And after 1 hour of watching infected and dead, they switch the channel. Now they watch the second channel as if the score is going to change. And then they switch to the third channel and the fourth channel and the fifth channel. And they watch the same news. How many infected, how many dead? 12 hours a day. In the evening at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, the guy says, I am depressed. Of course you'll get depressed. Because you're watching negativity all day long. And when you are depressed, your immunity goes down. Chance of catching the viral is much higher. Folks, limit your exposure to news only twice a day. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, and that's it. And that's it. Close it. It is ridiculous. And other thing is, get your information from reliable sources. There's a lot of fake news running around, which is misleading people. Okay. That is step two. Step three is convert your wasted time to productive time. I repeat, convert your wasted time to productive time. Hear this, folks. Nelson Mandela was in jail for 27 years. When he came out, somebody asked him, Mr. Mandela, how did you survive 27 years in jail? And Nelson Mandela said, I was not surviving in jail. I was preparing in jail. I was not surviving, I was preparing. You see, he said, I will not let the crisis define me. I made the crisis refine me. Hello? I will not let the crisis define me. I made the crisis refine me. What a message. What a message. And see, folks, how do you convert wasted time to productive time? There was a survey conducted in the US before the crisis that on an average, an American watches 3 to 4 hours of TV per day. Before the crisis. Today, they're watching 8, 10 hours a day. All right? So one day, a friend went to see a colleague of his, and the colleague had bought a new TV. So the TV was nice. So the friend asked a colleague, how much did this TV cost you? And he said, $1,000. He said, are you sure? He said, yeah. He asked, tell me, what is your annual income? He said, I make $100,000 per year. He said, what is your hourly time worth? He said, I haven't calculated, but if I make $100,000 a year and I work 2,000 hours a year, that comes to $50 an hour. And he said, how many hours do you watch TV per day? He said, 3 hours. That means $50 multiplied 3 is $150. Do you know something? $150 per day multiplied 365, 1,000 hours per year. Do you know what this TV is costing you? It is costing you $55,000 per year. That is more than your EMI on a $500,000 home. You're just watching TV here and paying those people who are acting in the movies. You pay for them. 3 hours of TV you watch every day, and your hourly rate is $50 an hour. This TV is costing you $55,000 a year. That is more than your $1,000 home. This is what you are losing money. Now, folks, don't get me wrong. We all enjoy TV. We all like to watch nice plays and nice movies. It relaxes us. But you know something? Watching every day, 4 hours a day, what are you doing? Ruining your life. In my book, You Can Achieve More, I have written there, a survey was conducted which said that 85% of millionaires and billionaires today are first generation. Only 15% coming from inheritance. I repeat, 85% of millionaires and billionaires today are first generation. And they were asked, how come you became so financially successful in such a short time? And the answer was, we read books. How many books? We read 50 books a year on an average. By the way, you can Google it, check it out. 50 books a year means 1 book a week. 1 book a week. Multi-billionaires and billionaires read 1 book a week. Warren Buffett reads a book. Bill Gates reads a book. And that means, what books were you reading? They were asked. And the answer was, we only read self-help books. Only read self-help books. We don't read fiction. You know why? Fiction is fiction is fiction. It will remain fiction. But one good idea from a self-help book is worth $1 million. And they say, we read 1 book a week. That means what? There is a connection between learning and earning, learning and earning, learning and earning, and learning and earning. You learn and you earn and you learn and you earn. And these are billionaires and they read a book a week. And people who are not getting anywhere, hey, they have no time. Unemployed, have no time. You know, and then they say, I have no money. You know something, you can get books free from a library. But they will never do it. They will always blame the whole world. They will never do it. Now, you will always find a serious reader. They will never borrow books. They will never lend books. Many times people come to me and they say, Mr. Khera, I got a great book. I can lend it to you. I said, no, sir. Don't lend it to me. Give it to me, gift it to me, sell it to me. Don't lend it to me. You know why? Because I won't give it back to you. Why? Because when I read a book, I always underline, highlight, mark, and make notes on the side. Why? Because I learned one thing in my life. Reading a good book once is never good enough. You know why? Because when you read a book again the second time, you don't find anything new in the book, but you find something new in yourself. Are you with me? Hello? You find something new in yourself. Now, I was cleaning up my library the other day. Folks, I have found in my library, I have 250,000 books in my library, which is more than many library has them. But as I was cleaning up, I saw I had many books I had read half only. I used to read many books, 30, 40 books a year. But in between, I stopped it. And I also made the same mistake. I was watching also in the first 2-3 days, I was also watching TV 8 hours a day. Then I kicked myself. So what are you doing? Wasting time. And I started bringing my books up here. And one night I was reading a book till 6 o'clock in the morning. Then I couldn't get up till 2 o'clock, but who cares? I wasn't wasting time watching TV. I got something new, good stuff. Folks, hear this carefully, very carefully. If during this lockdown period, if we have not upskilled ourselves, or if we have not become more knowledgeable, or if we have not become fitter and healthier, it's not because we lack time. It is because we lack commitment and self-discipline. Now, I talk of myself. Probably Madhav knows this. I'm not a techie. Till 6 weeks ago, I was learning SMS from my grandchildren. I did not know how to turn the computer on. I had not done an email. I had not done an email till 5 weeks ago. I didn't know how to turn the computer on. But you know, since the past 1 month, now I've become so comfortable with the computer. I'm doing a webinar a day, sometimes 2 webinars a day, and I'm booked for 2 months in advance further. And many people are paying me to do all these webinars now. A new thing opened up totally. I have upskilled myself. You see, you need to become upskilled, more knowledgeable, and 3, healthier and fitter. I started exercising. I was looking to lose weight. I've lost 6 kilos of weight. You know something, folks? I repeat one more time. If during this lockdown period, if you have not upskilled yourself, or if you have not become more knowledgeable, or if you have not become fitter and healthier, not because you lack time, but you lack self-discipline and commitment. Okay, that's 3. Step 4 to overcome crisis. How do we overcome depression? Folks, I get many calls from different people. They think I have the answers, which I don't. But I got called the other day. They say, Mr. Khera, I'm very bored. I'm feeling depressed. What do I do? Now, I didn't say that to them, but I'm sharing here on the webinar here. I learned one thing in my life. Only boring people are bored. Jibu, only boring people in life are bored. Only boring people are bored. That's it. And these are people who don't understand the difference between loneliness and solitude. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the pleasure of being alone. Man, you enjoy your company. You are at peace with yourself. What is the best way to overcome depression? Once somebody asked Dr. Carl Menninger, a world famous psychiatrist. By the way, Menninger Clinic even today is considered the last word in psychiatry in the US. They asked Dr. Menninger, Doc, if you knew for sure one of your patients was coming down with an attack of depression, what treatment would you advise? They thought he will write some medication. And Dr. Menninger said, if I knew for sure that somebody was coming up with an attack of depression, I will tell them, go home, lock yourself out, go to the other side of town, find somebody who's in trouble, help them, and your depression will go away automatically. Folks, I've done some work with the roundtablers, the Rotarians. I've done some fundraising for them also. I notice all the Rotarians, the Lions, and on the roundtablers, and many people like that. You know something? They are so busy setting up eye camp, blood donation camp, polio eradication, doing eye camp, blood donation, polio eradication. They're doing something or the other. They have no time to get depressed. They have no time to get depressed. I haven't seen people who are so busy doing something constructive, they have no time to get depressed. This is the treatment offered by a world famous psychiatrist. But people don't understand. You see, common sense has become so uncommon. Okay, next step. Step 5. To overcome the crisis, folks, build positive relationships in life. Folks, your biggest asset in life is not your bank balance. Your biggest asset in life is your relationship balance. Folks, hear this carefully. People who have great relationships, you know what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. I repeat, English language. People with good relationship, what they can achieve with one phone call, you cannot achieve with $1 million. Your biggest asset in life is your relationship balance. Now, relationship balance is at home, work, socially, everywhere. Go check it out. Who are the most important people in your life? Your family. And God forbid, in case we had a problem or if we were in the hospital, who will be next to us at that time? Only our family, 3-4 people. That's it. Only 3-4 people. You know something? The sad part, many times we neglect them, take them for granted. And I'm as guilty, by the way. So people, we need to realize the most important people are sometimes the most neglected also. That's sad. So folks, build positive relationships. You know why? Good friends and good relatives, they are your support system in life. We go up and down in life, and when we are down, it is our support system that helps us pick us back. And we all have downs in life anyway. Now, but there are some people who say, I network. I join organizations. They join management association. They join Rotaries or the Lions or something. You know what? They do networking with one purpose in mind. Let me connect with some people. They could be useful. They could be useful. Now, keep one thing in mind. People who build relationship only because you could be useful. Your usefulness goes, relationship also goes. They are selfish rascals. Stay away from them. They are selfish rascals. Stay away from them. They're only takers. They are only takers. Remember, networking and relationships are not built on taking. They build on what you can give. What can you contribute to others? What can you give to others? How can you help the others? Don't try to look and get. I was doing a program in Singapore one time. I'd gone for an evening get together. As I was coming home, I was passing through the lobby. One person who I knew for a while stopped me and asked me, where were you? I said, I saw in so place. And I said, I went to a get together. And his first thing was, I hope you met some people who might be useful to you in future. You know something? I just felt like throwing him away from here. I said, all you can think is, I hope you met somebody who could be useful to you. I said, damn it, don't you see, understand? Just meeting good people is good enough. Just meeting good people in life is good enough. You see, they are leeches. They are bloodsuckers, and that's all they are. Now, I'll share with you something. Just about 2 weeks ago, I received a phone call from a person I had not heard 10 years. And he says, Mr. Khera, I'm so-and-so. We met 10 years ago. I had your things on record, but somehow we disconnected. I had great regards for you, but I'm just calling to reconnect with you. Man, I'm just calling to reconnect with you, and that's all, nothing else. You know something? When we hung up, I felt so guilty. He beat me to a phone call, and I had a lot of respect for him too. And I said, why didn't I pick up the phone and call him to reconnect with him? And after I hung up, I immediately looked at my telephone directory and I started making calls to people who I had not kept connection with in the last 5-6 years. And I just started calling them, said, buddy, I apologize. We had talked about 5-6 years ago. Sorry about that. I didn't keep up with you. I'm just calling to reconnect, and that's it. Just calling to reconnect, and that's it. You know something? This is what relationship is all about. Keep in mind one thing. You don't build relationship that someday he could be useful. Keep in mind, usefulness is incidental to friendship. Now, keep in mind also that if we have a friend, I and Madhav have been a friend for 20 years. And God forbid, if he has a problem, who's the most natural person he will come for help? Obviously, 20 years friends. He can't make new friends tonight. Is it my duty to help? Answer is yes. And if I don't help him, am I being a friend? No. Am I doing him an obligation? No. It is my duty to help. Keep in mind. But helping each other is not the purpose of friendship. If purpose finishes, friendship finishes. Helping each other is a duty, but remember one thing, helping each other always remains incidental to friendship, never the purpose of friendship. I repeat, helping each other always incidental, never the purpose. Because if you make the purpose of friendship only to get something out of it, purpose finishes, friendship finishes. Friendships are built on mutual respect. You respect each other, hey, friendships last. That's how it works. Okay, next step, step 6. Folks, become a proactive person. Become a proactive person. What does that mean? See, when we do our 3-4 day leadership program, and Madhav, I'm going to send you an invite next time. You see, when we do our 3-day program, 4-day leadership program, totally by surprise, we ask people, are you a good person? All of a sudden, they get taken aback. I'm not sure. If other people think I am. But then once in a while, somebody says, yes, I'm good. And you do a second question, what makes you good? Then he says, well, I'm good because I don't do bad. Or I'm good because I don't cheat, I don't tell lies, I don't steal. And my answer is, that is not true. That is incorrect answer. See, if I don't cheat, it only means I'm not a cheat, but that does not make me good. If I don't tell lies, it only means I'm not a liar, but that does not make me good. And if I don't steal, it only means I'm not a thief, but that does not make me good. Keep in mind, ask a medical doctor. Absence of ill health does not mean good health. Similarly, not doing bad does not make a person good. A person becomes good when they proactively do good. That is called doing good. Okay, now, why did I share this with you? Very important reason. See, all of you are leaders here. Everybody is a leader. We lead our families, we lead our offices, we are all leaders. Everybody's a leader. But I learned one thing in my life. A good leader always takes a stand in life. I repeat, a good leader always takes a stand in life. And if you take a stand for something, you take a stand against something. A good leader is never neutral. When you become neutral, you become a politician. We don't know which side I have to run. Keep everything open, you non-committal. Remember one thing, a good leader stands for something, but he always stands against something. You can't be neutral. Okay, I share with you why I share this with you. Folks, we all believing in compassion and help to each other, but I have no compassion for the enemies of humanity. I repeat, I have no compassion for enemies of humanity. Who are enemies of humanity? Who do I label them? Folks, I've seen videos from US, New York. I've seen videos from Europe. I've seen videos in India where there are people who are beating up the doctors. They are beating up, ill-treating the doctors there today. They're spitting at the cops. They're spitting at the security services, forces. And they are spitting at the doctors. They are spitting at the fruits and vegetables. They're spitting at the home delivery pizzas. You know something? They fully know that they have been infected. They want to infect 10 more people. This is sadistic behavior. They are, in my opinion, enemies of humanity. I have no compassion for them. Now, why do I share this also? I was doing a program for about 5,000-6,000 people. As I finished, a man came to the dais and he asked me, Mr. Khera, are you a Gandhian? I kept quiet. He asked me again, are you a Gandhian? So I've learned one thing in my life. Madhav, I've learned one thing in my life. Don't answer questions till you clarify a little bit. And two, many times the best answer to a question is a question. So I asked him, tell me, what are the criteria of being a Gandhian? What are the criteria of being a Gandhian? And he said, Mr. Khera, the 3 criteria of being a Gandhian. One is that Gandhi believed that with love, you could win everybody in this world. With love, you can win everybody. One principle of Gandhi. With love, you can win everybody. 2, Gandhi believed in tolerance. And 3, Gandhi stood for non-violence. Non-violence. These are the 3 principles of being a Gandhian. So again, he asked me, Mr. Khera, are you a Gandhian? I don't know what came to my mind at that point. I asked him that at least in the Indian system, our culture, the 2 epics, the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Ramayana, they are considered sacred. They are considered sacred in life. So I asked him, I said, tell me, was Ram a Gandhian? Was Ram a Gandhian? Let us see if the 3 principles of Gandhi, did he meet the 3 principles? Was Ram able to win everybody with love? Was he able to win Ravan with love? Answer is no, he was not. So Ram failed the first test. 2, you said second test is tolerance. Did Ram say, I'm a very tolerant person? You kidnap my wife away, I'll get a second one. You'll kidnap second one, I'll get a third one. You'll kidnap a third one, I'll get a fourth one. Did he say, I'm very tolerant? He said, no, I do not tolerate kidnappers. Are you with me? Are you with me, folks? I do not tolerate kidnappers. And 3, you said Gandhi believed in non-violence. What did Ram do? He had to pull out a weapon and kill the kidnapper. He had no choice. So I said Ram failed all 3 tests. That means Ram was not a Gandhian. Now, let us look at further who have achieved great heights in life. The 10 Sikh Gurus, the 10th Guru, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. When the Mughals were forcibly converting people in, was he able to win the terrorist with love? Answer, no. Did he say, I'm very tolerant, I will tolerate all your oppression? He said, no. And 3rd, he had to pull out the weapon. So even he was not a Gandhian. And I said one thing very clearly. Folks, not protecting your family, respect and dignity, not standing for goodness in this world. If you don't stand for good, that is not called tolerance, that is called cowardice. And I said, I am not a Gandhian. I am not a Gandhian by any standard. Why do I share this again? Keep in mind, Ram stood for good means he stood against evil. I repeat, you stand for something, you always stand against something. You stand for good, you stand against evil. Yes, no. We need to do that. Okay, next. Number 7. Step 7. To overcome the crisis, you need to build emotional strength. How do you build emotional strength? You build emotional strength by building high self-esteem. Now, what is self-esteem? Self-esteem is the way we feel about ourselves. You notice when we feel good, the world looks nice, productivity goes up, and relationships are a lot better, aren't they? And the reverse is just as true. And self-esteem is inversely related to egos. Have you seen people with egos like I know it all? What do? They talk down to people, don't they? They put down others, don't they? And every decision they make is more to satisfy ego than make sense. Think about it, folks. Why does a human being put down another human being? It is sadistic but true. There are some people in this world who feel good when the other person feels bad, which means they don't want to lift themselves up, but they want to pull others down. Now, folks, the driving force behind high self-esteem is self-acceptance. And low self-esteem is self-denial or inadequacy. What does self-acceptance say? Self-acceptance says, I accept myself the way I am, with my pluses and minuses. Now, when I say I accept myself with pluses and minuses, does not mean arrogance. It does not mean complacence. It does not mean take it or leave it. It does not mean that's the way I will be. That is arrogance. That is low self-esteem. But if understood properly, high self-esteem is the epitome of humility. It says the following: how I came to this world, I don't know, but I'm here. I'm here to stay. And it says, I'm not perfect. I realize that. I make mistakes. I made mistakes. I apologize for my mistakes. I seek forgiveness for my mistakes. I'm not proud of my mistakes. I learn from my mistakes. I will not repeat my mistakes, but I am not a mistake. Are you with me? Are you with me? But I am not a mistake. I accept myself the way I am. Does not mean I'll stay that way, but I am at peace with myself. I have to prove you nothing. Okay. A great example of it was Charlie Chaplin. Once Charlie Chaplin was passing through Europe and he saw a big hoarding saying Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest. Out of sheer inquisitiveness, he entered the contest. And guess what? He lost. He came number 7. He started thinking the real one loses, the fake one wins. But then he started thinking, I'm the only one who knows who's the real Charlie Chaplin here anyway. Why don't I tell them I'm the real one? Then he started thinking, why should I tell them? Do I have to prove anything to anybody? Let them have fun. I'm the only one who knows my identity. I'm at peace with myself. He walked away. This is called self-acceptance. I have to prove you nothing. This is not arrogance. This was self-acceptance. Okay, next step. Second last, and then I'll be finishing up the program. Second last is, folks, remember, faith in life gives you strength, but blind faith makes a person weak in life. I repeat, faith is a great strength. Blind faith takes away strength. It weakens people. You see, belief is a great motivator. False belief is also a great motivator. Now, why do I share this? Because the biggest damage done to India is done by our media today. Anytime you open up the media, newspaper or TV channel, what do you see? You see somebody with saffron or white clothes with a few tilaks here, and they're giving horoscopes. Horoscopes! That's all you see is horoscopes. And he asks people, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Date of birth, time of birth. Oh, Guruji, I don't know time of birth. Don't worry. I will take it out. Tick, 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 tick. And he does all that stuff. Interestingly, if you read the life history of Swami Vivekananda, Swami Dayanand, Guru Nanak, they never believed in all these things at all. Never. In fact, they fought against it. If you look at the life history of the 10 Sikh Gurus, you know something, in the Sikh community, they have no mangaliks. They do not tally horoscopes. There is no good omen. Every wedding is done on a Sunday afternoon. If Sunday doesn't sit right, they do it on a Saturday. Saturday doesn't sit right, they do it on a Friday. Interestingly, I'll share with you an article, and I would strongly recommend pick it up. It came out, India Today, 1 year ago, on astrology. 1 year ago. And it said something. It said that because of blind faith, superstition, the natural childbirth has gone down by 80%, 80%. And especially they quoted South India, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Madras. They said in Madras, Bangalore, do you know the childbirths, 80% are being done by Operation C-section. 80%. You know why? Because some astrologers said, this is good time to pull your child out. Folks, and there are so many fake sadhus and babas around here, and people catch their feet around there, those who should be in jail. Folks, keep in mind, when things go wrong in life, people who are successful, I repeat, people who are successful, what do? And things go wrong for everybody in life. When things go wrong in life, they analyze, learn, accept responsibility, and commit not to repeat the same mistake again. But people who don't want to learn anything, you know, when things go wrong in life, instead of analyzing and learning, they blame the stars. When they blame the stars, they don't analyze and learn anything from that. Therefore, they keep repeating the same mistake again and again and again and again. Folks, remember one thing, faith strengthens people, but blind faith, superstition, weakens people. Okay, and lastly, number 9, lastly, folks, this is time to give back. This is time to give back. Folks, especially to the underprivileged and the poor. We are blessed. We have a home. We have food. God has blessed us. But there are many people who don't have 2 square meals. Folks, And I saw in the newspaper, on the TV, all over the world, there are many good people. And they're coming forward, giving food, giving money, giving time. They're doing so many good things. That is true. But, folks, there is one community in the world, only one community, who has been honored by the government of Canada, government of United States, government of New Zealand, government of Australia, government of USA, government of UK, as a community for service to humanity. And that community is called the Sikh community. You know why? Even before the crisis, their preachings that came from the Guru Granth Sahib, the concept of langar was there. People come into the Gurdwara and they eat langar, those who are hungry. Before the crisis, thousands of people were being fed there. And after the crisis, millions are being fed there, millions. And they have been recognized all over the world. I wish the government of India had taken the Sikh philosophy in India instead of their own constitution. I think this country would have seen a different fate totally. You know why? Why they go and work and help others? You know why? Because as a community, they are caring people. Two, they are sharing people. They share. And three, they are daring people. They dare people who oppress and do wrong things. They are ready to fight also. They're caring people, they're sharing people, and they are daring people. They're courageous enough to fight oppression. Now, time to give back. See, we have a Gurdwara here. They feed about 5,000-10,000 people, and we make a contribution. Whatever we do every day, we make a contribution there. But time to give back. There was a man by the name of Lafayette in France. Once a major drought came in, and he had warehouses full of grains. And all his advisors said, Mr. Lafayette, this is time to multiply your money 10x, 100x, 100 times. All these people are starving. They'll pay anything for food. And your warehouses are full. This is the time to multiply money. He said, no. You people don't understand that. He said, there were good times. They were having fun. We were having fun. They were laughing. We were laughing. They were making money. We were making money. He said, these are not good times. This is the time to open up the granary and give it for free. Everything given for free. You know something? This is what makes the world livable. Now, before I close, I'll just share one incident that took place. I was doing a program in Singapore for very high net worth people. Now, one is called high net worth, next is called very high net worth. Now, very high net worth, in my opinion, is people with $250 million plus. $250 million plus is okay. As I finished the program, Madhav, somebody from the audience came up and he asked me, Mr. Khera, tell me, when a person has $1 billion, why do they keep working more and keep making more money and more? He's got billion anyway, he doesn't have to work. Why do they keep working and making more billions? I said, my friend, there are two kinds of people. And since KMA is doing a lot of management training, hear this. I said, there are two kinds of people. One person, billionaire, who keeps making more, he's suffering from inferiority complex. He makes more money to keep a score, to keep up with the Joneses. How come they have this, I don't have it? They have this, I don't have it. They have this, I don't have it. They have it. They have 100 million, I must make a 200 million. He's got 200 million, I must make 300 million. He's got 300 million, I must make 400 million. You see, if he has more, I'm inferior. What are they doing? They are measuring self-worth by net worth. Are you with me? They're measuring self-worth by net worth. You take the things away, they'll die out of shame. Now, they keep making money to outdo them. And they sit on the treasures like snakes and do nothing for society. I would never even want to meet such rascals. Now, Warren Buffett said beautifully, a donkey is a donkey, is a donkey, is a donkey, will remain a donkey. If he has $1 billion, he will still a donkey with $1 billion, that's all. Now, that is one breed of people. But there's a second breed of billionaires who want to make more and more and more. Like people like Bill Gates. This guy's got $33 billion. He gave $32 billion into charity for underprivileged. Warren Buffett had close to $40 billion, gave $39 billion to charity. Azim Premji, probably 6 months ago, gave $6 or $7 billion, $7 billion to charity. They make more to help more. The more I make, the more I can give. The more I make, the more I give. The more I make, the more I give. Now, I want to say one thing. People who say money is not important. I've written my book, You Can Achieve More. People who say money is not important, either they're stupid or they're billionaires. You see, I didn't say money is the most important thing. Money is important. Because I learned one thing in my life. Money in good hands always does good. And money in evil hands always does evil. Therefore, anytime I do any program in the world, I always tell people, it is the moral obligation of every good human being to be a millionaire, billionaire, millionaire, billionaire. It is the moral obligation of every good human being to become a multimillionaire and a billionaire. You know why? Money in good hands does good, evil hands does what? Evil. Folks, I want to close here with 3 things. If out of this lockdown, you have not become more upskilled, more knowledgeable, or healthier and fitter, it is not because you lack time. You lack commitment and self-discipline. And folks, I want to thank Madhav and all the other team and everybody else from KMA that, folks, what you people have given me in the last, I don't know, I've gone way over time, in the last 1.5 hours, I think it's probably a lot more than I have given you. Because you know what? What you have given me is your time. And I learned one thing in my life, that time is more precious than money. Yes, no. Time is more precious than money. And what you have given me is your trust. Why did you give me your time? Because you trusted me that I would not waste your time. And I learned one thing in my life, that in life, love is not the greatest thing. Trust in many ways much greater compliment in life than love, because there are people in our life that we do love, but we cannot trust. So all I can say to you is, I'm grateful to each one of you. And Madhav, I can't thank you enough. And I would love to meet up with you, sir, another time. And Jibu and Ajay was here, Vivek, gentlemen right here. Folks, God bless you. I wish everybody great health. And if you like, we could take.
Thank you, sir. It has been wonderful. I mean, it's raining outside here in Kerala. It is like a good, beautiful rain which just showered on us. The words which you've just now narrated. It was more of management, traits which you can adopt in your life, and ending it with something which is good for Rotary, that is, touching others' lives and trying to give back. And with so many Rotarian leaders sitting here from, there is DG Shiva, Governor Shiva from 3150. There is Sheikh Salim, the governor from 3212. There is District Governor nominee Rajshekhar who is sitting here. There are few Rotarians from 3160. And many senior Rotarians, district directors, assistant governors, and other president secretaries of many clubs present here. What a message you are given, when we are going through a gloomy time, thinking that everything is over and we got to start afresh. You are actually giving things to think about, ponder upon as to what exactly we should do during these lockdown times. And KMA members and all other management association members, I'm sure they must have really valued it. Jibu will definitely, vouch for that. And we have so many questions coming in. I'm sure, we were so pleasantly surprised that you were relaxed and giving us so much of, time and talking so eloquently and elegantly as always. I think, I leave it to the moderator desk in charge, Vivek, who's waiting with so many questions. Just one question you can choose and ask him, which is very relevant. It's up to you, young man, to find out that one question, so that we will not waste too much time of others. We told them 1.5 hours, but then we'll stick to it. Just one question, because Vivek, you're waiting with those questions till now. Sir, please answer that one question in your own way. Vivek.
Thank you very much, Madhav, sir. I think there was a lot of questions from all the participants. The one question which goes up is to inculcate a good post-COVID mindset. What is the most important thing what we should be working on? This is one interesting question, so I'd like you to answer it, sir.
Look, go back to the message that Nelson Mandela gave. He said, I'm not surviving this time, I'm preparing. This is preparation time. And I think I covered a lot in this, that this is the time to prepare. Are you aware that the government of Singapore, there's a lockdown there too, and they have allocated a few $1 billion for their citizens there for upskilling. They said, when it up time, we had no time to upskill. This is downtime. So upskill yourself, because the moment the crisis is over, you'll have a jump start in it. So there is so much of opportunity out there. I mean, I have another program, which I sent an article to New York Times for publication on the management side. Maybe we could do another program where I said, hear this, okay, Mercedes is a client of ours, by the way. And one of the senior executives of Mercedes wrote in that going into the future, our competitors will not be the automobile manufacturers, they will be the Googles and the Amazons. Imagine Mercedes saying that. And I wrote the article that with the speed of change, the way things are happening, products are getting obsolete the day they're getting launched. And knowledge is getting obsolete within 2 to 3 years. Go check out engineering graduates. By the time they get to the 4th year, what they learned the first year became obsolete. Check out medical graduates. By the time they get to the 4th and the 5th year, what they learned the first year became obsolete. So now with this scenario, it has become a cliche. The only constant is what?
Change.
Change. Now, if change is the only constant, then either we are in deep trouble or we got a great opportunity if we are prepared. But tell me, Vivek, how do you prepare for the unknown? How do you prepare for the unknown? You don't know what's coming. So the article that I wrote in, which was very well received, and I'd be happy to send you a management association too, it said that, is there anything other than change that we can master? If there is something other than change, why not master the constants in life? And I wrote in that going to the future, the only people who will succeed in life are those who master 3 skills. They're constant, they never change, will never change. And what are the 3 skills? 1 is people skills, 2, persuasion skills, 3, prioritizing skills. They have never changed, will never change. Now, you master them, I don't care what is coming, you'll be prepared. Now, why do I share these three things? One is, all over the world, check out, we don't have business problems. We have people problems. And when we take care of our people problems, most of our business problems are automatically resolved. And two, go check out, they have never changed. Our parents, their parents, their parents, their parents, all over the world, we are hired for our skills, but we are fired for our behavior. Yes, no. Never change. It will never change. And three, you notice one thing, the lower a person is in life, 90% of the time goes in technical skills, less than 10% people skills. Higher you go up, guess what happens? It just reverses. Technology and technicians you can always buy with money. But the wealthiest person in the world must build and create relationships. Go check out. People buy things from people they like. I repeat, people buy things from people they like. It is I was addressing a B school and I asked them, what is the difference between selling, marketing, and so on? All they could think of was in the big thick books that they get you in the management school, all they could think was B2B, B2C, B2B, B2C. Oh, I said, forget all that stuff. That's rubbish. Throw it out. Remember, every transaction in this world is P2P. It is people to people. People buy things from people they like. Including today, when people are saying, I'm buying online, there is still people to people. Understand that. Why do some portals sell more and others you don't even want to buy from them? Integrity, trust factor. It comes back to the same thing. Well, I could go on a lot more because we do 3 or 4 day programs. Someday I'll get you people on the 4-day programs.
Thank you, sir. Vivek, I think I need to disappoint you with those questions. You may mail it to him. He can choose whether to reply to you or not on that. I must apologize to all others also who have raised their questions, that because of lack of time, because it is overshot a bit too much. Let me just recognize the presence of DG and Shanmugha Sundaram also. I could see him there from District Government nominee from 3203, neighboring district. And of course, a few Rotarians from Sri Lanka who are there, led by, I could see Rotarian Dinesh also being there from Sri Lanka. Thank you so much. And all the management experts, all the delegates from KMA also, I must thank you all for making it such a pleasant occasion. And I'm sure you must have all got enriched with this stalwart maestro's verse. And the 9 points which he said, I'm sure he has not written it anywhere in the paper so far. They were all new, which you heard for the first time. Whatever it is, you have all got enriched. Thank you so much, sir. And for the official vote of thanks, let me ask our young youth icon, DRR Ajay S, who has been waiting for a long time to say a few words. Yes, Ajay, over to you.
Sure, Ajay.
And that was a stupendous evening indeed, and a learning for a lifetime. Thanking our ever inspiration, Mr. SHIV KHERA, sir, the man who has impacted and changed million lives forever. And I'm proud to be one among those. Probably, most of us who would agree to the fact that the very first book what we would have picked up in the self-help category should have been You Can Win, the pioneer of all the self-help books. And today, listening from the man itself is a surreal moment for me. And I'm here as a fanboy. At the outset, I should be thanking, I thank the entire Rotary District 3201, the KMA for making this event happen, and for and as a representative of 2,000 plus Rotractors, I thank our Honorable District Governor, Rotarian Madhav Chandran, sir, for envisioning the thought of sharing this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity amongst the young minds and bestowing the biggest responsibility here. Thank you so much, Madhav, sir. And also extend my sincere thanks to Mr. Jibin Paul, the Honorable President of Kerala Management Association, Rajmohan, sir, the Program Committee Chairman of KMA, and also our District Governor nominee designate, all the Management Committee members for joining in, hands together to make this event happen. And all the participants, we have our District Governor nominee Rajshekhar sir is there, all the Assistant Governor, District Governor, all the delegates across the globe, and especially all the participants, all the hundreds of participants joining in Zoom and also in YouTube. And from the Rotaract fraternity, I recognize and thank the presence of past DRR Devan Mahadeva sir the efforts of past year are Vivek, Rotractor Hariharan, and Rotractor Mitesh. And closing it with the extraordinary belief that this session is going to be the missing link, which turns all our setbacks into comebacks for all the individuals who have not spent their time, who has invested their time for the past 90 minutes. Thank you so much, and let's continue to rise above the rest. Over to Rotarian Madhav. Thank you.
Well said, young man, and I'm sure you and your team must have been really got enlightened seeing the Guru himself and hearing straight from his mouth. It was a great experience for all of you. Thank you, sir, so much for making this offer of coming to us and addressing us. It was a wonderful session as always. I've always enjoyed your presence. It gives us a lot of energy and positivity. As you rightly said, the right connection. Thank you all, and thank you, sir. And we'll be in touch. We'll look forward to meeting you in person and showering our gratitude to you at that time. Thank you so much. And this meeting.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you all for participating. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Vivek. Thanks, Jibu. Raj, thanks for being there all throughout. And all of you there. It was a good time. Good. I think he's left now. Very good. I mean, you can unmute everybody if somebody wants to stop. Just unmute. Let's hear some noise. It was quite a big silence.
Madhav, thanks a lot. It was a great session.
It's a pleasure. It was my word to Ajay and team that we will do one joint program. I mean, with KMA, I was thinking, in what else do you want, Ajay? Real joint event with all kinds of grandeur. We got it. Beginning before the year, I told him that we will joint event. And this is
the way he spoke with passion, it is simply great.